Hello YouTube and welcome back to another episode of I Can't Believe It's Not Welder. Today's Battle Breakdown episode is going to be one of our more recent IRL events, which was the 2020 Oceania International Championships, the TCG Master Division Finals between Zach Lesage and Nico Alabas. Now, this isn't an exhilarating finals by any means, but there were some small niche things that happened in here that kind of changed the flow of the game, and it's a very fast-paced finals, and we've been kind of looking at a lot of like slow and methodical games so far. So I figured I'd switch it up a little bit and we get a little bit of a taste of something a little more fun and a little bit more one-sided to show you guys that not all games are grindy. For those who are newer, and that there's still something to be learned from those games. And sometimes it's just a welder world and you lose. So if you guys enjoy these kinds of content, obviously let me know in the comments below. Subscribe, like, that would really help me out a lot. We're going to be doing these every Friday when I'm in town doing stuff. So let's jump right into it. Also, I will be doing like primers for regionals coming up, like a meta analysis, like where I think the meta is, like what the read is heading in. If you guys don't know, the regionals are back and there's a schedule update. There was a video yesterday that I put out, so you guys can check that out. So you've got two players, very accomplished. Zach playing Welder Box, like a Firebox list that was popularized at the World Championships that year. And for the next 6 months, kind of terrorized, kind of dominated the format. Basically utilizing Welder as well as like Reshiram and Charizard to just put a bunch of energy onto the board turn 1, turn 2. And then use Heatran's GX attack to kind of clean up, yada yada. Whereas Nico was playing more of the World Champions deck, which was a Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team deck that revolves also around using Welder, but has a bunch more options available to you, using Psychic type energies to kind of use some of those attacks as well. So the two of them are exchanging some friendly banter before the round starts. And, well, yeah, looks like the round is about to get started, and they are underway. So looking at these prize cards immediately, I'm going to move myself to the middle for the prize cards. Yeah, you can see that Zach is playing a Mega Lopunny and Jigglypuff GX, which is a little bit of an interesting tech in this box-style deck. And you can see on Nico's side, he prizes pretty much all of his important attackers. This Charizard GX that is so good. This Macargo for cleaning up and doing big damage. And both of the Naganadels for kind of, you know, being able to play the game, which is hard. And one Welder in Nico's prizes and none in Zach's. Let me try to move my face again. Now I'm just in the middle. Now I'm uncomfortable. Hello? Can you guys let me move? Okay, we're going to go on this side because this is what it looks like is the best side. I forgot they always change the format around on how they do these things. So we see Nico starting off with a Solgaleo hitting the discard. The Solgaleo is one of the best cards in the Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team deck because the Solgaleo, for 2 energies, allows you to do 120 to the active and attach up to 2 basic energies from your discard onto one of your Pokemon. Now, most of the time, if you miss the Welder, you're in a little bit of a pickle, but in a situation like this where Nico can go attach to Dene, potentially put 2 energies into the discard, and, you know, get an attachment off next turn, because this Hearth is never moving. Both players want this Hearth to stick to the best of their ability. Nico's going to go ahead and play the Blacephalon down, and then aid to Dene. Now, the Blacephalon doesn't really change too much, I don't think, and we're just going to see a pass. Zach is going to want to set up this Ninetales engine as well as a Reshiram and Charizard to put himself in a better spot to just kind of get the Welder off this turn, get the Welder off next turn, 6 energy, blow up this Mewtwo into a, you know, rest of the game. Zach's going to go ahead and grab the Stellar Witch Jirachi just to have a pivot as well as a reusable search engine. But the downside of doing this is now that if you don't get to move this Jirachi this turn and do something with it, then Nico's going to be able to just take a free prize. And, well, there's a Dedenne already on the board, so if Nico was able to snipe that, that would have been 3 prizes right then and there. Zach is playing a Lucky Egg, which is I forgot this card existed, I guess. And there's a Dedenne, putting 2 energies into this card. Very clean from Zach for 6 brand new cards. Does not look like he has a Pokemon there, but there's a Fiery Flint. Now, Zach's deck does rely around getting energies into the discard as quickly as possible, and then using those to the best of his ability to use like Victini Prism to shuffle those back in. So Zach, I think, has acknowledged that Victini Prism is in the deck by the way he's playing, just discarding as many energies as he can. Already getting, I think, like 5 energies into the discard as quickly as possible, making this a little bit of a sticky situation for Nico. We see 5, and we see a Welder coming through, but I don't think I saw a Pokemon in Zach's hand to Welder to. So I guess you can Welder 1 to Dedenne here and just draw the 3 cards. So Zach's just going to Welder the 3 to the Dedenne, setting up the Heatran potential play, I guess, because you can move the energy still with the Heatran. We're going to see the Victini V hitting the board. This was a new addition in this regional or this international championship with the Sword and Shield expansion. Victini was kind of the I'm kind of struggling pivot card for a lot of these decks. Which, and Zach is deciding between Heatran and Reshiram, so he's going to go with the Heatran. So interesting decision there, because that can get one shot by something on Nico's side. That can get one shot by like a return knockout. And then the Welder is done there. There's the attachment. We're going to see the switch, and we're going to see the Spreading Flames attack, getting a bunch of energies onto the board. And now Zach is going to go ahead and split the energies up smartly as well, so that if he wants to go into the Heatran, he can, and Nico has to make the tough decision of, do I want to take out this Heatran or start attacking some of these energies on the board. But the Heatran has a really big GX attack, like, ready to go already, with Welder next turn. Like, Zach is Omega chilling, and so Nico's just double-checking what the card does. We're going to see a Hearth. Just setting up. I mean, if you're Nico, you might just be fine taking a knockout on the active. I don't think you'd like to be using your GX attack this early. But if you can get a Welder plus an attachment off, it'll work out. There's the Great Catcher. Now, I don't really know. Okay. I don't really know why Zach put the Heatran down there, like, early, because it makes, I don't know, the decision a little bit easier to just poke and set up. Because I think if you're Zach, you want to be putting the Heatran down the turn you want to switch into it, because now it's stuck in the active. Like, looking at Zach's hand, he doesn't have another switching card or switching out. So this Heatran just gets completely stuck. Like, I don't know. That seems like a very suspect decision in my eyes. Nico gets a free attack, a free setup onto this low puff. A little bit of a save by the Bell situation here, because Nico's hand kind of blows. But so does Zach's. So this kind of works out perfectly. Now Nico's deciding, do I want to take the knockout or do I not want to? We're going to see another Mewtwo hit the board, another attachment. And we're going to see another attack setting up the other Mewtwo. Now, Nico hasn't really done much, but he does get the Macargo here off the prizes, which means that he can have a attacker that can potentially one-shot. And by potentially, I mean, like, should one-shot this Victini. Now, Victini doesn't really offer any threat on the board for a one-shot. I guess it... So if you go to 6, 8... No, you're still one short. You can kill the bench one, I guess, but... Zach doesn't necessarily play more than one Great Catcher, I believe, in this list. Zach's entire purpose is to get this Ninetales up and running for the boss play. But, I don't know, benching that Heatran is, like, kind of a huge mistake, because you don't want to put that Heatran out unless you're going to go into the ability. I think the Spreading Flames is fine. I think getting the energies on the board is completely fine. I think you have 6 energies on the board turn 1 as abilities are. Like, how does it get any better than this kind of deal? But... I don't know. From that point, it's like a little bit of a doomed situation. 6 energy go onto this Victini, and then just a pass. Okay, so Nico, that Victini is going to come up and kill next turn. Like, there's no doubt in anyone's mind that's going to happen next turn. Nico has now gotten all of his 5 energies out of the deck, which is pretty impressive, actually. This early in the game, using that Giant Hearth as efficiently as possible. We're going to see the Welder come down. 2 energies to the active. 1, 2, 3. He already knows he's dead next turn anyway, so you might as well commit to the active. Ideally, you're looking for a Great Catcher here to get that Dedenne off the board. If he had the Snipe ability, I think he would have had it, because, well, he's got, I think, a Cherish Ball, I think I see in his hand, and a Psychic Energy. So he would have been able to do both of those things in tandem. But he doesn't have that Snipe because it is unfortunately prized, which is what it's a very small thing. There's a Great Catcher, amazing. There's the Reshizard hitting the discard, and there is a switch hitting the discard. Now, Nico expertly analyzing that. Well, I now have the GX attack set up perfectly to take the one shot, but I'm just going to go ahead and 230 here. I don't need to attach the Psychic yet, because I already have the 3 energies on the Mewtwo, but I want to have the Psychic so I can free retreat. And just like that, game 1 is done. Zach, who was in such a commanding position at the end of turn 1, in my opinion, like, that should have been a game where Zach wins that majority of the time, especially, like, with Nico. Even if Nico, like, gets everything he needs on turn 2, one-shots the Victini, it should still be a swing turn for that Heatran. to come up and take the knockout on the Mewtwo. And then from that point out, Nico has used his GX attack more than likely. He didn't have a Welder that turn, so it should have been a closed and shut case, but Zach benching that Heatran kind of doomed him after getting the 6 energies onto the board. And I think, all things considered, like, there was no reason to make that play. That's, I think, Zach's only mistake that kind of snowballed the entire game. So we see 2 Welders in Nico's prizes and 1 in Zach's prizes. And once again, that Zard, that so crucial 300 damage Zard sitting in Nico's prizes. Looks like Zach opted to go second because he wants to be able to use that Victini to kind of set up his board again. Kind of play for that Heatran once again, I think. We're going to see the switch being grabbed by Nico. A quick ball, getting rid of the Solgaleo. Another Jirachi. It looks like the chain of Stellar Wishes keep going. This was something that I was really a huge fan of in this format. Or like most Stellar Wish formats in general. A lot of skill involved between just like using Jirachis and kind of playing around it. We're going to see I think a whiff. I think there's something there, but I don't think he wants it. Cherish Ball. Dedenne. He's signaling my hand is kind of bad. I got the switch off. I got the Jirachi off that I wanted to use. I'm okay. Mewtwo hits the board, attached to Mewtwo, and a Dedenne. A Welder hits the discard, so now Nico is left with 1 Welder and 1 Great Catcher for this entire game until he takes prizes, which is I don't know, a little bit concerning if you were Nico, but I guess he hasn't. He Cherish Balled. I don't think he checked that his Welders were prized. That was a very quick search. So, and Zach with a turn 1, 3 energies hitting the discard again. Welder in hand. Quick Ball in hand. Switch. Oh, no Welder. Sorry. Switch Quick Ball at energy in hand. So he's going to go ahead and be able to get the Victini up in the board again. Pretty much an ideal turn 1. If he can find the Welder this turn, I think that's like probably the most ideal turn 1 again, similar to last game. And we know from Nico's situation that this game probably should be a loss because you're down to 1 Welder. I don't know. Having to find your... Okay, so Zach finds his Welder. Nico having to find his crucial Welder this turn is like a lot to ask for, because if he doesn't find this Welder, I think that's lights out. Like, that's literally the game. And that's how explosive some matchups can be. We've seen a lot of, like I said, control-y matchups, but there are times when turbo and like aggressive decks rise to the top and flourish. So we're going to see an attachment again and a switch. We're going to see the Spreading Flames probably. Yeah. Just getting the 3 energies onto the board. Doing the same thing, splitting the energies. Not putting 1 on Dedenne. Interesting. I think at least 1 should have gone on Dedenne. If we're going to commit to this strategy once again. There's the weakness guard. We're going to see the Hearth come down. We're going to see the Hearth play. So Nico's now looking through his deck. I think he might have realized that the Welders are not there. He's like, oh, I think a very crucial card that I need is not in this deck. So he's going to go ahead and thin out. And I think there's no Dedenne either. Maybe. No, there it is. Okay, cool. I was like, he should be grabbing Dedenne here every single time if it is in the deck. And I think maybe Hearthing there first is a little bit of a mistake, because you kind of do want to get that energy, but you also only have 1 Welder. So, yeah. So we're going to see the Jirachi play. A quick ball. Quick balling away Mewtwo. Just simply searching, getting the Victini into play as well. This is also where your own Spreading Flames comes into play. But Nico already attached for the turn. That's something important to note. He kind of already committed to this attachment. So he's just going to go ahead and 120. Being a little bit of the aggressor here. Just saying I want to get some damage onto the board. But there's no other Mewtwo. So Nico's effectively locked himself into this 1 Victini. But he's also understood that he needs to attack here because he has 1 Welder. Which is fine, I think. Zach has the board completely open for this, like a turn, whatever, like turn 2 now, I guess, like turn 2 Heatran play to just completely blow this Mewtwo out of the water. But Nico has the response Victini ready to go, which is a very smart play. He's ready. He says, I have it ready to go. I see you're setting up for a Heatran play. I'm going to stop this where I can. And we do not see a Pokemon. Zach does have 2 Pokecoms in his hand, however. Just no Pokemon in the hand. He's going to go ahead and say, hey, I'm not going to flinch just yet. I'm going to maybe Welder first, see if I can draw no Pokemon. I think Flinting first is fine. You just can play with energy in your discard. Doesn't matter here. 2 energy. He's really committing to this Heat Trend play. Like, he is heavily committing to this Heat Trend play. And like I said, the punish is right there on the bench already, which does not feel good, you know? Like the punish is right there. So I don't know if this Heat Trend play is like worth still committing into. Maybe you go for the 2-shot with the Victini here and set up a Zard on the bench. Like a Victini into Zard into something else play. But I don't know what else. So we see the switch. 1, 2, 3. We need to have 6 energies. 4, 5, 6. So the Victini's still live, but this Victini's not going to be able to kill the other Victini. So there's a GX, there's the 3 prizes. But the problem here for Zach now is once this goes down, he needs to find the Zard. If he doesn't find the Zard, the game, I think, gets really, really difficult for him. Zard plus Welder needs to be found, and he did prize a Welder, I believe, as well. I don't think he drew it off his prizes. But Nico has to find a stamp this turn. That's probably the card he's looking for the most. Singular copy of Reset Stamp to kind of put him in a better spot. We're going to see the switch being grabbed here. He knows he's digging for, like I said, he's just, I think, literally digging for the Reset Stamp here. That's probably the best card in this scenario. We're going to see the Retreat, the Stellar Wish. Cherish Ball, I guess, is fine here too. Now, Zach has 4 Welders, actually. I forgot. Or 3 Welders now, because I forgot about the Pal Pad. That's a very crucial card. There's a Cherish Ball. No Welder again for Nico. Looking kind of dicey. I think you got to grab the Mewtwo here and start powering it up. I don't think you can, like, let another turn go by. Oh, you have the Mewtwo. Okay, cool. I don't think you can let another turn go by. Okay, Psychic Energy. We see the switch. And we're going to just see the knockout taking 2. We do see the Family Zard going to be coming in the prizes. And a Cherish Ball, which doesn't change anything. But there's still 2 Welders in there in the prize cards. Like, that is so unfortunate for Nico. Okay, so we're going to see the Jirachi come up. And, I mean, I see the pieces there. There is the Lopuff as well. There's the Escape Board. Zach just has to find a Welder. There's 3 energy left. He should be flinting to thin for those 100% of the time here. I think. You flint some of these useless cards in your hand. This Jirachi is not doing anything for you anymore in this game. The Jirachi, maybe a Fire can go. Maybe the Jirachi and Hearth can go. Just thin a little bit deeper. Okay, so that's 3 cards that are in his deck that he could hit, but he does hit the Welder. I saw 1 Fire, so I was going to say if he hits like more than 1 Fire, it's probably a Punish and no Welder. But he hits only 1 Fire, which is fine, I guess. Is he committing to the Zard line, or is he going to go with the Lopuff? Turtonator, what the... What? Why? But why? That can't be right. I don't know if that's correct. I don't think that's right. Why are we discarding more? I mean, like... I mean, I guess, like, we can go with the more discard energy and just play into the Victini Prism for game. Because he has the Victini Prism plus energy in hand. But I also just don't mind going into the Lopuff because you're already up on prizes. Well, I guess you're 10 short with Lopuff. Never mind. I'm stupid. Are we 10 short with Lopuff? How much does Victini have? I think it's 190, yeah. I think it's 190. It's got to be 190 if that was not the play. But I also think just going in with Zard is completely okay. Because if you go in with Zard... you're now a Ninetales plus energy away from, like, just winning the game the following turn. Oh, you can't go into Zard. He GX. Never mind. I guess Turtonator was the only play. That just doesn't feel good. That feels terrible. We're going to see the Reshizard come through. Attached from Nico. Here's his last-ditch effort. He has to find something. We're going to see the Dedenne. There's a stamp. There's a stamp to 1. Probably exactly what you need. Without getting the stamp to 1, it's like doomed, I think. There is the Jirachi, but if he can go stamp to 1 and Naganadel snipe with his 1 Welder, he's got to hit the last Welder in his deck. There it is. There's the Welder. We're vibing. We're okay. We're living. He's counting everything. He's seeing, okay, what can I do? This Turtonator is a little bit thick, so it's going to get stuck in the active. I think Nico's best play is to just snipe the Jirachi this turn. Stamp to 1, snipe the Jirachi. And then you can great catch. Well, yeah, you can't great catch the Victini. So let's play the. If he has a switch though, if Zach has a switch, he gets so much agency off of this Jirachi. So I think it's got to be a snipe on the Jirachi. It's got to be a snipe this turn. That's the play. Every time. Oh, he's going to Stinger. Oh, that's kind of cheeky. Okay. He's just going to Stinger and say, hey, you're going to have to go through this Mewtwo and you can't find a boss target. I'm not giving you this option. And it doesn't change my game whatsoever because I'm still at 3. So it's buying himself one more turn. He knows he had Welders in there. So he's saying maybe I want to put a Welder back in there. Zach's going to go ahead and just Hearth away this Flint, getting 2. Realistically, this Turtonator is not a threat because it's stuck in the active. Unless Zach finds exactly Welder. Like, it had to be Welder plus random card into attach, and you're still 20 short. So that doesn't change. Just a pass. Hearth the Hearth. Nico's got like 5 cards in deck. That's kind of nuts, actually. 3 Dedenes deep, I guess, and a bunch of Welder, or 2 Welders, so. Another attachment. He's deciding, do I snipe or not? And I think we're going to go with a snipe on the Victini here. Oh, no, we're going to... What are we doing in this? Okay, fine. Jirachi's fine. I think. Because I guess you can just knock out active, knock out something. But I don't know. Does he know he has energy left or no energy? We're going to see the boss. Or is he a switch? And then 3 onto the board. Yep. A skateboard, and a retreat for the game. So Nico doesn't have to worry about where to close out the game because I don't think he had energy left. But I think what would have happened next is just a knockout on the Turtonator with the 120, putting 2 energies on his board, probably somewhere. And then he can just win on the following turn if Turtonator comes up. Or if any of these damage guys comes up. But if Zach can, I guess, throw up the Victini, get a Zard, attach to Zard, retreat into Zard potentially, and force Nico to attack into it, then the game gets a little bit weird because then Zach has the potential to outrage back and Nico doesn't have energy left, but there's already 3 things on the board, so Low Puff does clean up the board. So that is one of our more explosive finals. If you guys enjoyed the video, obviously like, subscribe, let me know. Just leave Welder in the comments. That's our word for today. I'll be gone next week before Brilliant Stars content is back, so don't expect anything next week. If I get something pre-recorded, I will have it up. But I'll be back after a week of hiatus. I hope you guys can forgive me for that, but I'll see you guys after that.